MK and I am back with another 31 days of cut file fun. I am also pairing this with my Mixed Media Mayhem recipe for today. It's Friday, and this is the cut file that I will be using today from Some Assemblage Required. I am also going to be using a card kit instead of a scrapbooking kit for today. So I have pulled out these Tidal Wave embellishments by 49 and Market, what's left of them anyways. I have a single sheet of white daisy cardstock from Close to My Heart for my mixed media. I also have this card kit that I've already taken apart, and it is the Sherbert card kit that I thought was really, really cool. And I'm going to get my idea from this base sheet because I really like this swiped rainbow look, and that is one of my recipes that I have to use on my layout is a rainbow. I also have these really cool card bases to play with. They've just got some really cool patterns going on. There's a couple rub-ons, and then of course the stickers that keep the cards closed for the envelopes. So I have those. They're just uber super thin, so that way the receiver doesn't get too wound up over a thick sticker to rip. And then of course these beautiful envelopes in this. I have a pink piece of vellum, and then loads and loads of pictures, and then I have 6 oxides. So I have Rustic Wilderness, Evergreen Bough, Peeled Paint, Mustard Seed, Spiced Marmalade, and Barn Door. So those are the ones that I will be using. And then of course I have 8 blender brushes that I will be using as well. So how do I have 8 blender brushes and only 6 colors? Huh, that's so weird. Oh, I see, because I don't use the blue ones. I was just thinking, how does that work? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the inner bits of the stars that I have saved from my cut file, because remember, I don't throw anything away. I keep anything that looks reusable. And of course, I cannot throw away a star. Stars are the perfect shape for me. So what I did was I took some, it's like a two-way glue where you put it on and then it dries temporary. So like you can remove it. So repositionable, that's the word I was looking for. So what I did was I randomly placed them on the right side or the left side of my layout, so that way I can ink over them. So I have to keep in mind I have 6 colors. 12 divided by 6 is 2, and so of course I'm going to try to keep them all 2 inches wide, so I can go from the top to the bottom, and I'm going to just come in from the right or from the left, now from the bottom, and go towards my page, but I don't want to go too much, and I don't want it to be absolutely perfect either. So what I'm going to do is get my base coats down first, then I'm going to go back through and make it a little bit more, I don't know, whimsical, but in the long run it doesn't really matter because my photos cover it up. So it is what it is. Okay, and then the first thing I did, because the swish at the top is really super dark, so I switched my Evergreen Bough and my Rustic Wilderness around. In the end, I don't even notice it, but I did that because the dark one was at the top in my sample that I was doing. And now I am seeing that it is not going on. Okay, so I lost a little bit of footage going on here. I promise you it should come back. But what I did was I took my water and I sprayed it to get, the oxide does its thing, right? Then I'm going to go over again with another layer of oxide ink, so that way I have like multi-layers, and you get that dimension, that ups and downs, highs and lows. And then I went again over some more water, but this time really big droplets. So I apologize about that gap in me re-inking my paper. That's all I did was re-ink my paper. Now I'm going to peel off those stars so that way I have these crystal clean white stars. Now, of course, they're not crystal clean because some of the water seeped up underneath them, but I'm okay with that because in the long run, you won't be able to see them anyways. So I showed you guys this matting portion because of the fact that I'm putting my photos on vellum, but I don't want to cut my vellum. I'm going to rip my vellum. So on my grid, I have just measured over 6 inches, and this vellum is uber old, so it's only technically 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So I do end up being 1/8 of an inch shy on the other side. So this one sheet ends up being 12 inches, or I'm sorry, 6 inches, but my center photograph where my map is, my upside down map, where that is it's just a little bit smaller, but you don't really notice it, like I said, in the long run. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is pull out some of these card bases because I want, again, to represent the striped rainbow, right? I really like those color swatches. And I was debating on actually backing my little swirly McGig. I was debating backing it because I really liked just all that color that's muted. It's very, very muted. And I thought, no, because it's going to look too solid. I don't want it to look solid. I did all of that brush work over there and I don't want to cover it up, right? So what I'm going to end up doing is tearing off my ink, like my ink samples, I guess is what they're called, ink swatches or rainbow brushes. I have no idea, you guys. The photos are just, we went out to dinner at an Outback Steakhouse. That's it. That's all. We love enjoying our time together with all the kids. Of course, you know, my middle son up at the top, he's, you know, Joe Cool. And so he is acting like he doesn't want his picture taken. And then when I stop taking pictures, it's like, okay, I want my picture taken. So this is one picture where he's trying not to smile and be cool about, you know, getting his picture taken. And then the next one, he's, you know, a handsome young man. So I just wanted to capture both of them because all the kids go through this stage and they go through it in their own different way. So like my daughter, it was talk to the hand because that was back in the day, right? And then my oldest son, he never grew out of it. He always wants his picture taken. My middle son, you know, acts like he doesn't, but I really know he does. And then, of course, my youngest two are still in that stage where they want their pictures taken. So I love catching all the stages and how they try to, you know, pretend to avoid the camera. I think it's cute. So anyways, on the right side, I went ahead and I smacked my photos kind of center in the layout so I could have this really big, bold rainbow on one side and then this microscopic rainbow on the other side. And it's just going to make a really pretty border, and I'm trying to get it to go straight. I'm doing it the lazy way, to be honest. I did not want to pull out my ruler. I don't know why. Thought I could do it because everything's pretty square. Excuse me. I apologize about that. And then I'm going to overlap my vellum and butt my photos up next to that border, so that way it doesn't look like it has that gap because that pink is very pastel-y. Now I'm going to attach my swirly McGig over here on the left-hand side, but I want to line it up to where A, I see all my open stars, and B, I don't cover up my white stars that are on my ink, my inked background. I did not want to cover those up. I want to make sure that I can see them fairly well. And then I have one photo on top of my swirly McGig, but then another photo underneath it. So again, it brings movement into the layout when you do things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to replace my stars back into themselves, but because of where I had them and I flipped my swirly McGig so that way I had 3 stars at the bottom with 2 white stars and then the exact opposite on top. Now I have orange stars up in the green and green stars down in the orange, which I'm okay with. I think it's really, really cool. So now I'm going to finish off this background. Normally when I do well, if you guys have watched me since the beginning of 31 days, I spend a lot of time on my backgrounds because of the fact that the cut file really, truly does all the work for me. I don't have to hardly do a thing because of the cut file. So I spend a lot of time on my background because once you add your cut file, it's almost like I could have stopped and said, oh, I'm done. Yep. And that was it. But I'm going to take these rub-ons. I'm actually going to take quite a few rub-ons. Now these ones here, it says you are the greatest. And then the other one says you are loved because I really like that. I really like those 2 sayings for the 2 guys in the photos. And then I'm going to take matching colored butterflies and attach those to my left side rainbow as well. So now I've got a red one floating up. I'm going to have a yellow and orange one because they were in the perfect order. I went ahead and I kept them, but they're going to go behind my swirly magig instead of in front of, because I didn't want to draw attention to them. I'm also overlapping onto the stars as well, so I think that that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to have a bluey green one, and then the dark one blends in so super well. I actually love the fact that all of these butterflies blended in so well. It's like, yay, I actually, like did a great color combination. Normally I'm slightly off, and you can definitely tell, but this one I'm pretty proud of. So anyways, on to the right side, the ripped paper isn't blending as well. And I thought, what on earth can I do to help it blend? Well, on this rub-on sheet that had the butterflies also had a bunch of splatters. And they're just the perfect size. They're not too much. They are a little too little, but they're not too much. And so what I'm going to do is, again, match up the colors and randomly put them on my right hand side per color, and that's it. I'm just going to green on green, yellow on yellow. Oh, this yellow had a little bit of green, so let's put this green splotch right next to that one to make it look like that's where it came from. Let's put some here. At this point, I have no idea what else I'm going to add. I'm hoping that all the splotches just kind of fill in that gap, but they don't. Now they kind of look a little weird, like they're missing something. What else can I add to this layout? But I'm going to keep going because I still have one more thing that I can play with for this layout. Now, when I pull things out to play with a layout, so like when I put together a little page kit, I guess, to create this layout, I try to accept everything that I pulled out. Now, whether or not I use it is okay, but I try to at least accept it, at least think about it, at least acknowledge, okay, I pulled this out. What was I thinking? Oh, well, never mind. What I was thinking is now long past. I can't do that anymore. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to move on. And so that's what happens sometimes. And then other times I get so proud because I actually do end up using everything that I've picked out. So for this instance, I picked out a huge die cut pack. No way will I be able to add all of these elements. I love all these elements, by the way. I love 49 in Market's die cut packs because of the fact that they put so much in there. You can do a year's worth of layouts basically and still probably have some left over. Well, probably not. But there's just so much. And so I took a few here and there. I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged the fact that there's still other colors. Like I didn't have any yellow, I didn't have any orange, I didn't have any, well, I purposely don't have any pink. And then of course there isn't any red. That's why I used red on mine, because I wanted to bring in that darker red that was in my package sampling rather than the pink that's on my cards. So that was me. But I wanted to bring in a few of the colors, but not too much of the colors to the point where it's a green and blue layout. I definitely did not want that mood and feel, right? I also moved my photos over slightly enough to where I had that haze going from the stark rainbow into my photos, and then it's fading out on the other side into those tinier little strips. So it's a jest of the eye, I should say, a tease of the eye. I can't think of the words that I'm saying at this very moment, but I love how it almost looks like it blends, like it's spilling over behind my photos. All right, a little bit of white splatter. I am still using and loving this Dina Wakley gloss spray in white. I am very glad that I picked up a bottle or 12. All right, that is what I have done for my Mixed Media Mayhem, as well as my 31 days of cut file fun. I am enjoying this very much. At first I was not going to do a rainbow, you guys, because I don't do very well with rainbows, but I had a blast doing this. So Adam, thank you so much for picking out the recipe for today. Also be sure to check out the Facebook group for Mixed Media Mayhem. We've got lots and lots and lots of content creators on Mixed Media Mayhem, as well as some really cool social butterflies that love to post amazing mixed media mixed media projects. Sorry, wrong word. Also, too, I want to share with you guys my, I have been sharing it all week long, my 31 Days of Cut File Fun Facebook group. There's a link down below in the video as well. It might be mixed in there somewhere. There's lots of links for this one because it is a Friday. There's also the hashtag. So if you guys are on Facebook or Instagram, you guys can hashtag it, and it will be, you can see just the photos of it, which I think is amazing. It's like an album for just 31 days of cut files. And then of course there's a playlist here on YouTube. So if you just want to hit play and watch everybody that is creating with these exact cut files and get multiple ideas of the same cut file, it is amazing. So just hit play on the playlist and watch who is playing along, which I'm over the moon about that, you guys. I love this. I'm thrilled at how far this has come in just 2 years. So anyways, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.